Keyshawn's ultimate guide to success. I've had a lot of ups and downs. I've had a lot of success, and I've had a lot of failures. I've had a lot of times where I'm physically crying. I'm just hurt. I'm heartbroken. I'm devastated. This is part of life. So the first thing I'm gonna tell you, with any success, whether it's business, personal, health, the first thing, gratitude. You've heard that before. Gratitude, critical to just getting to the next level, just getting over. Finding moments in your life where you can just be grateful for your situation, no matter what it is. Finding time to just exhale and find and think of a time or moments when you're just grateful. Gratitude is huge. I constantly pray. I pray in the morning, I pray at night, I pray for my kids, I pray for them to go into school. Gratitude, being thankful for just where you are, because you can look up, you can look on social media, you can look on the news. There's so much happening. There's so many people hurting, and whatever your situation is, you have to find a moment and a place to just be grateful. Find something to be grateful. You say, well, there's nothing good in my life. You have to find something to be grateful for in your life. There's always small moments of gratitude. Like right now, it could be raining outside, it can be snowing. You can just look outside. You have a car, you driving, so many homeless people. You know, it's cold, it's freezing outside, and somebody is outside right now, homeless. No matter what your situation, the bills is behind, you know, different things like that, you still can just go to bed at night, and whether you're homeless or not, you gotta find moments to just be grateful and gratitude. That's the first thing. You know, we'll go into other things, but gratitude is huge. Next, find moment to just live in the moment and understand when to live in the moment and when not to live in the moment. Huge. Say you're going through a situation, it's heartbreaking. Sometimes it requires you to deal with that heartbreak. It requires you to deal with that financial issue, that health issue. But also, don't just live in that moment, because that moment is so stressful, it's so intense. You need to go through it, but also think of moments when it was better, your health was better, your financial situation was better, or prepare for those moments where, okay, well, it's rough right now, but this is only temporary. Start looking at the future, start looking at what possibly lies ahead. But it's all a balance. You know, if you're dealing with health issues or dealing with financial issues, and there's this big issue that is a consequence of that, you don't want to just start living ahead. You want to live in the moment right now. Let me enjoy these small moments right here. So it's finding, you know, balance. Mental health is huge. So much of our life is mental. We're watching social media, we're scrolling, we're watching the news. We can watch sports and we can just, you know, sports is huge. Sports is an amazing distraction. And we're like, oh, okay, I watch sport. Let your team lose. Oh, mental health is horrible. And, you know, in our state, we're in Ohio. You know, Ohio State Buckeyes is everything. They lose on Saturday. There's people who are done, not just for that Saturday, they're done for the entire year. Mental health is critical. Find some way to just get a balance. Find some way with your mental health that you can talk about it. If you're dealing with something, you need someone that you can talk to and not be, you know, they tell you you're doing this wrong. You're doing, you know, you want to be vulnerable without the consequences of being vulnerable. Huge. So that part is critical during the process of you trying to find success. So these are just some basic things. You know, gratitude, find ways and times to live in the moment, and then have someone to be able that you can just talk to and just be vulnerable about your situation. There's people who get counselors. I'm all about, if you need a counselor, you need someone like that to talk to, whether it's, you know, a mental health counselor, or, you know, a pastor, you know, a best friend. All of that is critical, you know, to your success. It knows when you're they know when you're off balance and different things like that, you know, within that. Another thing, financial balance. You have to find a way to find balance with your finances. Whether you're a business owner or entrepreneur, or you're working for someone, or you're unemployed, you have to find a way to get balance with your finances. Because a lot of our life, our mental, a lot of us deal with mental and it's directly related to the money in our accounts. And it shouldn't be, but that's just how it is. Your life depends so much on being able to bring in bill money, being able to bring in food, be able to supply for your family, being able to just want to live a life. And it's okay to want to live a good life. You just have to find balance. Next, set realistic goals. I'm not saying don't be optimistic, but we will sometimes set these goals and we think they're short term and they're really long term goals. We may set some financial goals that are, I want this goal in this, I want to get this in 30, 60 days. When I first was in business, I said, okay, I got this fully mapped out. I want to make 30,000. Like the first couple months, I may do, 5, 10,000. And I probably maxed out about maybe like $1,500 to $2,000 just working for someone. So I'm going into the business saying, hey, I want to make $5,000, within the first 30, 60 days. And then by 90 days, I want to make 100,000. And then I mapped out like a 6-month goal to be a millionaire. And it wasn't realistic. It actually took me a lot of learning. It took me a lot of headache. It took me a lot of like looking at my bank accounts and being devastated. It took me a lot, and I had to become a completely different person to not just get to $1 million, to get to 6 figures in income in business. I had to understand stuff in a different mindset. I had to understand procedures. I had to understand payroll. I had to understand just business fundamentals. And that requires, so whatever you're trying to go through, whatever levels you're trying to go through, you need to be able to understand what does that take for you to become that person. You need to understand that. You want to get this, you may have a goal of weight loss. You'll look on social media and see someone says, I was at this in January, and then, they're showing their progress, and then at the end of the year, they're like this thin person. Good for you, but that's not going to be majority of society. And you have to understand, and you have to be realistic, with that. And you also have to set a schedule, meaning you need to start your day before it starts. You need to plan out your day. So much happens through the course of our day. So you need to plan it out. And that requires discipline. That requires getting up every day and beating your alarm clock. It's so much easier to just want to sleep in. I personally, I never use an alarm clock. I'm so much at a place mentally that I have to get up at a certain time. And I'll go back to sleep, or I need a little bit of sleep. My body just wakes me back up. You gotta get at a place that waking up excites you. It's a motivation. Find something else that's just going to drive you. If you're depressed, and this is just my opinion, you have to find something that excites. Find something that can also stimulate your mind, that can keep you busy. Mental health is critical, because what happens with mental health is we start feeling a certain way, and then we give into those emotions. And sometimes we need to give into the emotions, but then we live in that emotion, and then we keep finding other stuff. And what we end up doing is we attract what we think about. We attract, what we talk about. So we start dealing with that, and then it doesn't go right, and then it doesn't go right like we want, and then we just go down this slope, and then we start attracting so much negative. Oh man, this happened to me, and then a car breaks down, and then this happened to me, and then I'm just not that type of person. You are not that type of person. You're the type of person that can overcome. You're the type of person that can change your life. You're the type of person that can get over and help others. But it starts with you. Mental health is critical to your success. Budgeting is critical. In my book, I'm Tired of Being Broke, I talk about setting, a realistic budget. 10% put towards savings. 70% make sure that you can cover your bills. 60 to 70% cover your bills. Take the other percent leisure time. Enjoy different things. We all have different habits or things we like to do. Some people like to go and party. Some people like to sit back and watch TV and videos and Netflix and different things. Some of us like to just travel. Some of us like it all. You have to be able to budget that. A lot of times we're doing stuff and we're spending our 70% that's going towards, bills and, our basic lifestyle needs, when it shouldn't be. And we have to be able to manage that. We can't keep up with the Joneses when we don't have the Joneses budget. So you have to understand your current situation. And don't be at a place where you're just always comparing yourself to others. We have to stop that. Compare yourself to successful people as just a guide, but write down write down, whether it's on your phone or, they say sometimes writing down on a piece of paper, it stimulates the mind and it causes more action to happen. Write down your goals. Write down, what your current obstacles are. And then write down, here's my goals. Here's my goals that I want to do in 60 days. Here's 90 days. Here's a year. Here's 2 years, 5 years. Write that down. And when you start and look over your goals, also add affirmations to your goals. So don't just say, I want this, because that is not stimulating the universe and progress. You want to change something to make it feel like it's happening now. So you want to make sure you just don't say, I hope to this, my goal is this, and that. Like, write it as if it's already happening, critical, and also understand the steps that it takes to get there. Some stuff you won't know how stuff will, open up, but practice that. Practice affirmations, huge. Not just, someone, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to like that type of affirmation. It's just throwing out, a rock into the ocean and just hoping it's going to open up and cause a big ripple effect. It doesn't happen like that. Your goals should build on top of each other. That's how it should happen. You want this big house, but maybe you don't even have a house right now. So why don't you start with, okay, my first goal is to get into a place, whether it's an apartment, where I'm leasing out, get this, live here, get my credit up, get my income up, and then the next goal is this, and that. People say, well, this is my forever home. I never go into a forever home or forever this because I never know how things happen, how income changes. So I always want to be flexible enough that I can ultimately dictate how I want my life to, ultimately open up. So just make sure that those critical things are huge. Stop setting goals and stop doing stuff that's based off of other people's lifestyle. You have to define who you are. And in that process, you'll become the best person for ultimate success. Now, I know that wasn't what you was looking for, but if you look at any successful person, they're gonna pretty much have this basic fundamental processes down. So I wish you much success as we continue this process of you becoming ultimate. You got this.